Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. So viewers, as we go straight into the news tonight, former opposition Senator Jayanti Lakshmidal Ramdiyal is being tipped by UNC source to sit as the president of the Senate when the new parliament terms open. The opposition of Prime Minister, opposition leader, and the president are all currently held by women. Lakshmidal Ramdiyal, an attorney who served in the Senate from 2020 to 2025, said there has been no discussion to date. Lakshmidal screened for both the San Fernando West seat in which she resides and Naparima, but was unsuccessful in both. Politician Wade Mark is also being looked at to fill the post of Speaker of the House of Representatives. Mark, who first entered the Senate while in opposition in 1990, is one of the longest serving members in the upper house, having served in the 4th, 6th, 5th, 8th, 9th, and 11th Parliament up until 2010. So Trinidad and Tobago, tip lights, step rights, and Lakshmidal and Mark may sit in the House of Representatives when it is open. Two individuals that will fight for Trinidad and Tobago, two individuals who has not been biased, two individuals who ask PNM administration a lot of questions with no answers returning. We have seen that right here. Right here we have seen that. So Trinidad and Tobago tonight, I am saying, I hope these two do get to sit in the parliament. Maybe the PNM administration will get a little taste of their own medicine, so to speak. But nevertheless, they are both educated, been around the parliament, they know the do's and the don'ts, they know what the country needs. So I believe we should give them a chance. Mark, who has been in the House on many occasions, been members of Parliament many occasions, have spoken outrightly. I believe he's the perfect man for the job. Moving along. Senate, the Honorable Satya Kama Maharaj, Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism, and Senator the Honorable Philip Alexander. Minister in the Ministry of Housing was sworn in earlier this afternoon at the President's House in St. Anne's. Speaking to the media, Minister Alexander explained that an evaluation must first be done within the ministry before any steps can be taken. He, however, mentioned that over hundreds of persons are on a waiting list for housing accommodation. Alexander.
We are conscious that people have been on a list for decades, doing whatever they had to do to try and see how they could get the assistance to own a home. We want to get crime down. We need to put more families in homes, and this ministry is the place to do it. There are a lot of unfinished projects. We're going to be paying attention to those, and we're going to be starting up new projects where they need to be. I look forward to working with the substantive minister and the other minister in the ministry.
When asked about the plans for unfurnished projects and unfinished contracts, this is what the minister had to say.
Well, I'm sure Honorable David Lee, Minister, is already looking at that. Those issues will be decided within the ministry when we get a chance to look at what we're talking about.
Minister Kama Maraj said he plans to firstly meet with his ministry and notes the business community is at the top of his agenda. Kama.
You have to focus on making it the easiest place in the world to do business. You must have an objective. It's all geared towards an overarching objective of diversifying the economy. And you want to diversify the economy, the manufacturing sector, investment, and make tourism a major pillar of diversification.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, experience in business, experience in the House of Representatives. Knowledge is power, so they say. But listening to the people and listening to the cries of the people, not everyone gets that. Not everyone gets that. So the new government is sworn in. And still there are some people on social media platform, as we would say, starting to bash the government already. They want this, they want that, they want the next. You know what I don't understand is why there wasn't demand in the PNM administration who was there for 9 years. This is what I'm not understanding. We had 9 years of the PNM administration. Nobody demanded anything. UNC won on the 28th, let's say the 29th of April. Today is the 6th or the 7th of May, I believe. The 7th of May, just a few days now. Ministers are still being sworn in. And the people are already demanding what you're really demanding. What actually are you demanding? Fear is fear. What exactly are you demanding? When the PNM administration went into power, Dr. Rowley said we have money to run the country for 3 days. 3 days. But $2.6 billion is unaccounted for. Nobody said anything. Nobody had demanded where $2.6 billion gone. Nobody had demanded better hospital. Nobody had demanded better schools. But an administration is still swearing in ministers. And some citizens, some groups are already demanding. We had a government there for 9 years and you all demanded nothing. Because Dr. Rowley said, wean off the government. Wean off the government. I am just reminding you all of what took place. I'm bashing you, I'm reminding you. But for some of you, I haven't heard you all for years. All of a sudden, your sleeping pill wear out and you get up. Sad, yes? It's sad. But nevertheless, I would listen to you all made yourself fools. Not because your sleeping tablet now wear out, you know. Apparently when it wear out, you get up stupid. That is the case. But nevertheless, after a special General Council session held on Tuesday, Dr. Nayan Gasby Dolly is now officially chairman of the People's National Movement, while Clongenberg holds the position of vice chairman. It was a close call for Gasby Dolly as she defeated Port of Spain Mayor Mr. Allen, receiving 60 to 58 votes for the position of chairman. Mbud was unopposed as there are 4 spoiled ballots. Speaking to the media, Mbud explained the reason he did not went after, I should say, or for the chairman position, and said he will not be contesting in the next internal election. Let's hear what Mbud had to say.
I did not go for the position of chairman because I felt it is time for the younger people in the party to come forward, and I will not be contesting a position in the next internal election. Okay? I will wait for whoever is appointed leader and see whether that person in their wisdom may wish to ask me to be a deputy political leader. But I won't be contesting chairman, vice chairman, or any position. I think it's time for younger people and fresh faces to come forward and take over the leadership of the PNM.
What an embarrassment right here. What an embarrassment. You should have said, just how you said that going forward you will not contest any seats or any position. You should have said that before you entered. Like I said, you all have embarrassed Trinidad and Tobago. Now you're embarrassing the position of the vice chairman. And you're embarrassing who again? Gatsby Dolly, who sat right next to you. Trying to make a UNC how she looking at Clongenbut. She looking at Clongenbut and is like, so why the hell you didn't say that before? Would I find somebody else? Hey, they're good, yes? They're good. They're real good. They're real good. Gatsby Dolly said she was pleased to have been selected as a party goes through a transition. Gatsby Dolly.
I want to thank the General Counsel for the confidence reposed in me to serve as the chairman during this very critical time in the PNM's transition as we look forward towards the organization of our internal election, where we will fill the, of course, political leader position that is very critical to be filled as we move into opposition and organize ourselves to be the formidable opposition that we expect to be as we wait to assume our position as the government of Trinidad and Tobago.
So we welcome Gatsby Dolly as the chairman of the PNM administration. But Clongenbut, let me tell you something. I realize that you ain't really care if you embarrass yourself or not. I realize that. Over the years, I've been noticing that. But it's stinking sad that you sit there being the vice chairman and utter words of disgrace, dissatisfaction, embarrassment. You should have just stepped out and let her pick somebody new. Simple as that. I could imagine how bad Gatsby Dolly feeling there, boy. I could only imagine how bad she feeling. You put up yourself a position, they select you. Now you're saying, well, one set of nonsense? Nah, but all you good, yes? Thank God it's only her, not me. She believed that Dr. Saieed Ali would be proud of her elevation in the People's National Movement. Listen to Gatsby.
I think Dr. Rowley has prepared his young people. He calls us his young people. 10 years ago, he took us and gave us responsibility. And I think Dr. Rowley is going to be very proud of the fact that he has raised a cadre of leaders that can take their rightful place now that he has moved on to the organization of the party, the leadership of the party. I think that is very important. And I think he'll be very proud of us.
Now, viewers, with both a female opposition leader, a chairman, Gatsby Dolly, said it was refreshing to see women taking their place. Listen to this.
It is refreshing to see women taking their place, and alongside the men, of course. Politics has always been a male-dominated career, and it is nice to see women taking their place, which is not to say that that is a panacea for success. It really comes down to hard work, commitment, and gender plays a role, yes, but it is not the determining factor, though I am happy to see that type of change.
These positions, being the chairperson and the vice chairperson, are only in term until the party holds its internal election, which is expected to take place within the next few weeks. So if they are selected, all well and good, we wish them all the best. It's a new cabinet, some new faces, a new change for Trinidad and Tobago. As I say, it's refreshing to see new people in new position. Viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear from Gonzalez, who said it's a disgrace with the PM's crime plan. Imagine this, when we come back.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, although many ministers, politicians, party leaders and other opinion align with the views of Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar in her confidence to bring the crime rate down in Trinidad and Tobago, former National Security Minister Marvin Gonzalez begged to differ. A few days UNC have sworn in. Listen, good people. A few days now, Today, ministers are still being sworn in. And like I said, people have already been demanding. When Marvin Gonzalez was the Minister of National Security, what did he do to gangs in Trinidad and Tobago? What did he do to make sure our borders were secured? What did he do to get the illegal firearm off these streets? What did he do to curb the crime in the community? What did he do to get the cocaine, the marijuana, the human trafficking, the prostitution down? What did Marvin Gonzalez do? This is what I want to know. What did Marvin Gonzalez do? He said crime fighting issue should not be approached by a news headline. Listen to Marvin.
It is far deeper than that, and I would advise the Honorable Prime Minister and the new government to get down to work doing what we must do as a government and as a country to tackle the issue of crime and security in Trinidad and Tobago. If it could have been done in 3 months or 6 months, trust me, that would have been achieved a long time.
All ever hear this brand song? You lie, 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 you lie, you lie. All ever hear that song? On Christmas time, they play that song? You lie, you lie, you lie, lie, you lie, you lie, you lie. You was here for 5 effing years. What you do? What you did? 2 days are back. 2 days are back. The Ministry of National Security have been sworn in ministers. You were there for 5 years. And you want to talk about 3 months and 6 months? Is that duncy head or what? I telling you that, Saeed. You went in Wassa, where you do? What you do in Wassa? But you want to come out now to tell a new administration who used to have crime, when they were in power down, you telling them what to do? What the hell? I just swear I'll just smoke some kind of rubbish before I'll come to do interviews, you know. I just swear, you know. Speaking to the media on Tuesday, he also wished the new Ministry of Homeland Security and Defense all the best. Listen to this.
I would withhold my personal opinion on the two gentlemen. Safe to say that as a former Minister of National Security and as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, I wish both of them very well in their tenure, because I think if they are successful, then we as a country would be very successful and we will benefit from their success.
So speaking to the media was former Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Dr. Amory Brown, who gave a controversial statement on newly appointed Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sobers. Listen to this.
I think they could have done worse. Looking at this election stuff, I really want to wish him the best. You know, the ministry has done a lot of work in recent years, and I really would wish that he would analyze what the foundation that he would have met, just as I did when I entered that office.
Let me tell you something. Apparently none of them have nothing good to say. Apparently none of them ain't have nothing good to say. Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, former Minister Amory Brown. So where was Amory Brown? And where was Dan Paul, who's the ambassador to UK for Trinidad and Tobago? Where were these two ministers when the UK decide to do what? Put a visa on the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to enter the UK. Where were these two men? Where were these two men? Oh, they didn't know the UK was going to impose visa, but Faris Al-Rawi could have told you that in 2024. Let me hear you. Let me hear all your Trinidadians. Faris could have told you that 2-3 years back that they were expecting it. I played the clip for you all right here on Real Talk. Right here on Real Talk, I played the clip for you all. Call her good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program. And those people like Gonzalez and Gaspidoli and Sindura Sagram Singh, well, she admits she says she's disappointed, but she's not ashamed. If you're not ashamed, then you're shameless. So all of them is the same thing, but I want them also to acknowledge that they're not ashamed of what happened. They are disgrace to this society like Gonzalez. Yeah. Good night, Mr. Said. You hear me now? You hear me?
I hear you.
All right. Good night, Mr. Said. Yes. And I'm getting that feedback.
You go ahead. I'm listening.
All right. Oh, okay. I'm getting that feedback on your program. Yes, so waste of time, Gonzalez. He's a disgrace to this country, disgrace to this society. All should leave this country. You were there. You did nothing good for this country. You was in national security. You was in WASA. Nothing improved. So these people are disgrace to this society. And Dolly, you should apologize to this nation. You was boasting and telling people to shut up, the opposition, and have to shut up because you all have the majority in parliament.
Correct.
I don't know if you remember that, and the citizens of this country. She said, we have the majority in parliament here. You all shut up on that side. You is a disgraceful lady, and you should apologize to this nation before we move forward. You did nothing for education. You destroyed education. Anyway, Mr. Said, I want the citizens of this country and all those people who discriminated against people, look at the parliament today. Look at the cabinet. Look at the government. You see just what the national anthem reflects. Every creed and race find an equal place.
Correct.
That is what we want to see in this nation. When the police service, the defense force, the hospitals, well, the doctors, that's the only, in that category, a doctor, you will see a reflection. This is what we want to see throughout this country today, a reflection of the national anthem. And I hope the government is going to deal with it and question all of them. And to the Minister of Rural Development, Ms. Khadija Amin, I want to ask you a question. If you was happy when you went in there and saw what you see there, not a jot to reflect the national anthem and find out what is their role and function. Their role and function was to find place in rural development, destroy this country, to bring their supporters and put them there to contaminate villages and community that have a particular culture and behavior. So you have some work to do, Ms. Ahmed, and I wish you all the best in your position. Congratulations. So, Mr. Said, you keep up this great work you are doing. We will succeed in this country, and this country will become a great society. Thank you. God bless you and your staff.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, Brown said he hopes the new minister recognizes the vital role the ministry plays in the nation and can rise to the occasion when necessary. Sometimes I just wonder what kind of advice these ministers given who was there for almost 10 years and did what? Just collect money and roll in nice vehicle, travel around the world, eat in fancy hotel with taxpayers' money. Now they come and take advice. Listen to this.
A Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in our case a Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, is a very important facet of connecting Trinidad and Tobago to key partners and elements overseas. And seized with that responsibility and that weight, I am hopeful that he will rise to the occasion, fill the space with something authentic, something meaningful and of value to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So it's really genuine best wishes.
So Trinidad and Tobago, thus far, is the PNM against the UNC. Even though the UNC is now swearing in ministers, they're still labeling. I could imagine when they reach in the parliament, when the parliament opens, what would happen? But nevertheless, we're going to bring you some serious highlights from that when it opens. We are going for a short commercial break, viewers, but when we come back, we're going to hear PM's working arrangement still in limbo. We'll see how that goes after this.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back.
So viewers, the working arrangement of Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar still remains in limbo. Caller, good night.
A very, very good evening to you, Mr. Saieed.
To you, my friend.
You know what it is? Have these people griping? The fact that they no longer have access to the public purse.
Correct.
So there is nothing to spend willy-nilly. So they had reached the point where oil and gas was running low, no foreign direct investment. So the plan was to tax us, the citizens, to death. The only thing they didn't figure out how to tax you for the air we was breathing. But anyway, you know, some people have a yard full of potong. And if you have feed them side, they're backing at everything that moves. This is how the PM is behaving today, all of us.
Thank you, my friend. I tell you what, man, the laws and they're still blaming, you know. They're still blaming. They are so in shock that they're still blaming. They're still labeling. They probably blame the UNC for them losing the election. Like I always say, viewers, I am not affiliated to any political parties, you know. I am not. I am not. So hence the reason why I am neutral with both sides. And this is what people don't like. You're independent. You see, when you're standing for country, and you're an independent person, you don't depend, you demand. And there's a difference. I'm not dependent on both any parties, you know. I am not dependent on either party. But I am going to demand from the party that is governing Trinidad and Tobago. What am I going to demand? A better Trinidad and Tobago. That is what I'm going to demand. A better Trinidad and Tobago. And I thank God for putting me in this spot. Thank God for that. Hence the reason why we don't ask. We don't ask for that. I don't ask for that. And I'm proud to say that. The working arrangements of Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar still remains in limbo, as some of the concerns are raised over the suitability of Whitehall will take approximately 3 months to address. In a media release, the Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago, UDCOT, which completed restoration work at Whitehall in 2019 at a cost of $32 million, addressed the issue of flooding at the building, but did not speak on the complaints of mold. UDCOT said areas at Whitehall were identified for attention. Meanwhile, opposition leader Penelope Beckles wants the government to bring the evidence to show that Whitehall is unfit for use. Beckles said less than a month ago, Stuart Young led People's National Movement government had been operating out of the facility without any problems. Beckles said she was unaware of any issue that could impact the building's readiness for use. Yesterday, several videos were circulating showing what was claimed to be dilapidated parts of Whitehall, while other videos showed a clean and well-maintained building. The videos could not be verified. So Trinidad and Tobago, we are going to try. We at Real Talk, we are going to try to get access to the Whitehall for our own verification and for you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, to rest at ease. So now, well, you know what? Saieed brought it out in the public domain, and this is what it is. So we are going to try to get in touch with the various entities of the Whitehall to give us access to view and film the building inside and out just for you, the citizens. We are going to try. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saieed.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Okay, Mr. Saieed, this blaming game with them has been going on for 9 years.
Correct.
That is what they're doing to hide what they do with public funds.
Yes.
So they're putting up a front, right?
Correct.
That is not the issue with them right now. At this present time, they have to take a backseat and tell me why all they change the law and do what all they have to do, so that when all you leave office, all you go over $87,000, that is taxpayers' money too, Mr. Saieed?
Yep.
That is taxpayers' money too?
Yes.
So, if they're talking now and they're blaming now, it's not going to fall in nobody's basket, but let it do something for our money. Let it do something for our money, because partner, that's plenty money that we have to work hard and pay these fellas for doing nothing. Nothing.
Correct.
No, Mr. Saieed, this country has to understand that yes, we have gas taxes and we have oil taxes, but the majority of revenue come from this country is hard working tax-paying money, you know, Mr. Saieed Ali.
Yes, yes.
Hard working sweat, people sweat for, you know. Why are you doing that with people money.
Correct.
That is one, two. Quickly, let me tell you the next thing first. Where our Minister of Homeland Security is concerned, I don't want to say anything about the guy or about the ministry, but crime rather. To tackle crime in this country, Saieed Ali, somebody got to audit the police force.
True.
Somebody needs to either humanize or financially audit the police force. Because I am telling you, Saeed, we don't have to be in government or we don't have to be in opposition to tell you who is running the whole scene on the ground floor. These guys have nothing to do with government, and in my point of view, these guys is bigger than any government that come in here.
True.
Because nobody not tackling them, Mr. Saeed.
Correct.
If you're not taking the rogue element out of the forces that's supposed to protect, how are we going to get the protection?
Correct.
How are we going to get that? So I'm hoping that my boy take a good heed and look into the situation and get officers who really want to protect and save. I'm not going in there for the money, Mr. Saeed. It's all about the money, you know. It's all about the cash. These fellas pay can't meet their lifestyle. So they're doing whatever is possible on the outside because they to make money. If you want somebody last life, some of these fellas living, Mr. Saeed, you want to know where these fellas get this money, salary, you know that? No, man. Come on. And Mr. Saeed, last thing before I go, don't feel that everybody in there, the good, the bad, and the ugly know what's going on.
Correct.
They just have a code and they're moving under that code.
Correct.
We need to get somebody to break that code, Mr. Saeed. You have a good night, sir.
Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago, as Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisesa pushes ahead with her promise to revive the Cuba Children Hospital, Trinidad and Tobago National Nursing Association President I.D. Stewart have stated that a children's hospital is not necessary at this time, as there are 2 children units in Trinidad and Tobago. He said those 2 units are not properly staffed and are not yet overfilled with children. Listen to this.
And then there are those which we really hope they said, look, that was just for politics. That was just for optics. It will look nice to a wood on a building saying Children's Hospital, but we really hope they don't go through with that. Currently, there are 2 children's units in Trinidad and Tobago. There's the Wendy Fitzwilliam Children's Hospital at Eric Williams, and there's San Fernando, there's a children's unit there. None of those 2 units are properly overstaffed or filling over with children. In fact, they are operating at less than 50%. So there's no need for a children's hospital. There's no document that the UNC can pull to indicate that we need a children's hospital in Trinidad. There's none.
The hospital opened in 2015 by the People's Partnership Government as a dedicated children medical facility, was purposed during the COVID-19 pandemic and now functioning as a multi-purpose facility. Mr. Stewart also noted that there is not enough staff to operate a children's hospital, as well as no technical expertise. Listen to Stewart.
And on top of that, we don't have the staff to operate a children's hospital. We don't have the technical expertise to operate a children's hospital. There's 1 neonatologist in Trinidad. 1. There's no nursing school currently training persons in pediatric or neonatal nursing. So when we throw these stuff, I guess it's for, to win elections, whatnot. But when it comes down to it, there's no need for it, there's no staffing, and certainly there's no funding. And we would want to guard against the new government in pursuing objectives that are not important right now. It's not important right now. As I said, there's no cost benefit analysis. They can indicate that a children's hospital is needed.
Sometimes I just have to listen to educated people that run an organization with no sense of a bright future with them. No technical expertise to train nurses. Okay, good. Why you didn't bring that to the former administration? To train nurses for the future. That's number one. Number two, if Prasad Bissa's government push forward and open the children's hospital at Couva, maybe part of their plan is to do surgeries. Open the Couva hospital with the proper equipment that individuals of the Caribbean will come to Trinidad to do surgeries. You see how our Prime Minister and our former health minister who says we have the best health care in the Caribbean, but yet they will board a plane and they would go to the United States or to Europe or to the UK to get visits. All remember that? Recently, Dr. Rowley had to fly out. Fly out to do what? To get his test done. But according to Terence Dial, we have the best hospitals in the what? Anywhere in the world. But we have Idis Short now saying it makes no sense opening the hospital. The reform administration opened it. No, they used it as a COVID-19 center, and that was it. That was it. It's still standing there. So maybe Kamla Prasad Bisasa has a plan that you are not aware of. And then on top of that now, you're not aware of their plans, but you're coming to tell the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago now that there is not enough technicians to teach nurses. It's sad, you know. Hey, sometimes, listen to this. I was demanding the former administration, the PNM government, into a better Trinidad and Tobago. And thus far we have gotten things. We have gotten legislations, we have gotten amendments, we have gotten bills passed in the parliament, we have gotten road fixed, we have gotten bridges fixed. Through the same program, Real Talk with Saieed. You see, I am for a better Trinidad and Tobago. I will continue demanding from the government for a better Trinidad. So how come Stuart didn't go to Terence Dial saying, Terry, you know what? We don't have educated and technical staff to teach nurses in Trinidad. What are we going to do about that, Terry? What you plan to do about that? I wonder if Stuart and Terry ever had that discussion. But you see now, as a man who say to the national public, in the nation, live on television, you understand? I was the one who pushed the union. Get your men together, get your crew together, and stand up for better Trinidad and Tobago. Today the UNC and Roger, the unions, they joined together. Imagine that. You think them had that height of sense? No, they didn't have it. They didn't have that capacity to think beyond their eyeball. Sometimes I just had to laugh here, you know. Nevertheless, caller, good night.
Yes, sir, good night.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Yes, sir, you make a real good point there. Concerning the nurses are trying to figure this thing out. What all was doing for the last 9.5 years, the Rowley administration, Or there wasn't teaching nobody, no programs was going on for nurses.
Correct.
So just now, let me just say something, right? Let me just say the PNM will win this election 2025. By the time 2030, they would have had to close down 2 more hospitals in Trinidad because there are not enough nurses. I don't know, I asking a question here. That kind of far-fetched claims they're making it. And let me tell you something, right? So all the people that dogging down the Prime Minister right now, listen. All you had on the Prime Minister
exactly
for 9.5 years.
Yes.
Only nobody here open their mouth and say boo. Everybody just going with the flow. Oh God, give the woman a chance now. How should let damn mouth and give the woman a chance now?
It's simple.
The woman now come into office. She ain't going into office yet because it's full of mold and it's leaking. You see the condition of that? They'll spend $58 million to refurbish that in 2019 and then put jobs in that building. Tell me something now, outside. Tell me something now. How much money they got thief in this country, boy? How much time they got rob the taxpayers, boy? And let me tell you something before I go, right? This social media blogger by the name of Rhoda Barrett or Rhoda Borat, or wherever she name is, right? Let me tell you something. They're coming out with memes now with the Prime Minister. Why they didn't do that? When Stuart Young the fire here last month, why didn't come out and meme with Stuart Young face? Oh, you sprayed that time, man. You couldn't talk that time.
Rhoda. Oh. I understand.
Any outside, you enjoy your night.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. I believe, yeah. That's true. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, the woman now coming. Up to today, ministers are being sworn in today. All I rock back, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, all I relax a little bit. The PNM administration, 9 years, the pothole in front of your house. You're bursting your shock. You're damaging your tire. You're bending your rim. 9 years, the pothole still in front of your house. You get a new administration. Oh, go relax yourself. Let the woman settle down a month or 2. Fear is fear, you know. Fear is fear. I giving them a little time, you know. That is what I'm doing. I balancing the scale. Back to Stuart. Beyond the ongoing national nursing shortage, Stuart urged the UNC-led government to focus on fulfilling key promise, settling salary negotiation for medical staff and hiring more nurses. Hold on the director. So Stuarty, 9 years gone by. 9 years gone by and you and tell Terrence about hire more people. Good? 9 years gone by. You ain't want to settle negotiation with them. You ain't bullying them to talk about negotiation. Good? You ain't bullying them into hiring new staff. If you're vexed, you know. That's your business. But reality is reality. Kamala still swearing in people. For God and heaven's sake. The woman still swearing in ministers. You done start to tell the lady. Focus on the fulfilling key promise. Boy, sometimes I just wonder if it's blind, dumb, dotage, and deaf individuals that have in Trinidad and Tobago. I just wonder. Imagine this, a milk truck. Tall man, imagine this, a milk truck come to give you milk. A milk truck come to give you milk. You ain't know what kind of milk it is. You ain't know where the milk come from. You ain't know the kind of vitamins the milk have in it. But you start to condemn the milk already. It's stinking sad to know people in position have the mentality as that. It's stinking sad. I want to make more money. I want to expand my business. I want the finance to be top of the line. But you hear me going on the finance minister as yet? No. The man don't even know how much money the treasury have. You hear Saieed complaining yet? You hear Saieed blasting the Minister of Finance? No. I'm waiting. I'm giving him some time to settle in. It goes to show the level of ability and the brain capacity some people have that they cannot think outside of the square. It's stinking sad to see that. Why you wasn't telling? Why you wasn't telling Dial Singh to hire new staff? Why you wasn't telling Dial Singh to focus on your promise, Dial Singh? 9 years Dial Singh did the hospital upgrade? We have better units? No, it's still the same way, no difference. The pain scaling off and it continued to scale off for 9 years. Stinking sad, yes? But nevertheless, but I write here for people like them, so yeah. So viewers, so much videos you could get inside. Minister of Public Utilities Barry Padarat has reaffirmed that the UNC-led government commitment to maintaining current water and electricity rates at this time. Padarat said the new administration is guided by the compassion and concerns for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Listen to this.
You have several ministries, state agencies that have not been paying their bills for years. Citizens, the average citizen does not have the luxury of not paying their bills. But you have state enterprises, ministries deferring bills for years upon years while citizens are forced to pay monthly bills. And if they don't pay the bill or 1 month passes, they receive a disconnection. So there must be some level of compassion in terms of how we treat with some of these issues in the public utility sector. So in terms of immediately addressing, it will be the focus on water. As you said earlier, the Regulated Industries Commission is going through a process. While they go through their process, the policy of the United National Congress coming into government is that we will put an immediate stop to any rate increase at this time with respect to water and electricity. We have been very clear on that matter.
Now I want to show you something. Barry spoke with compassion and put a halt to any increase in water or electricity. Let me just go back to Clorian Booth, who has been the Minister of Finance for 9 years. Did he have compassion on you when he said that if you don't pay property tax, you will pay $5,000 as a penalty fee? Did he have compassion? Did he have compassion when you hear a pensioner who owns a property dies and the 5 years or 10 years that pensioner didn't pay tax for, when that property go down to the grandchild now have to pay or to find money, who is not a rich lawyer, that have find money now to pay 5 and 10 years of tax that the granny didn't pay? Was that compassion by the finance minister that went by in the last administration? Trinidad and Tobago? And as always, a sense were made before books. Always. I ain't bashing the UNC yet, I'm giving them a few months. I'm holding my peace, I'm holding my tongue, and I'm watching. We're out of time for tonight, viewers. Nevertheless, we run up this program tomorrow from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. I will be right back here another night for Real Talk with Saieed as we go live. Until then, good night.